Alright, so here we are again. More games pulled from Nvidia's Geforce Now. So this feels a lot like last week when we had the Activision issue, right? So Nvidia's Geforce Now loses Bethesda Software Games, second major publisher to pull its catalog following streaming services launch. So let's just go through this article real quick. Bethesda has pulled all but one of their games from Geforce Now. They're not saying a whole lot about it on either side, whether this was something similar to Activision where they didn't have an agreement yet and it was at a beta, or if there's some disputes with negotiating there. Who really knows? But we got a couple pieces of news for Geforce Now, one negative and one positive. So a week after losing all of its Activision Blizzard games, Nvidia's Geforce Now streaming service has lost most Bethesda software titles. Nvidia said in an announcement Friday afternoon. Wolfenstein Youngblood is the only game remaining in Geforce Now. An Nvidia representative later told Polygon that Youngblood will be the only Bethesda title to stay on the service. Other Bethesda games leaving Geforce Now include the remainder of the Wolfenstein series, Fallout 3, Fallout 76, and New Vegas, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, and its special edition, Doom 2016, Dishonored and Dishonored 2, and Evil Within 2. Nvidia had no additional comment beyond a brief blog post. On February 11th, Nvidia announced the Geforce Now service was losing support for 20 Activision Blizzard games. The company later said in a statement that it had removed those titles because of a misunderstanding over permissions to continue offering them when the cloud gaming service left its beta period, which was a huge oversight on Nvidia. We've covered that in previous videos. They should have known that they were not in beta anymore with the 90-day free trial, and that Activision or any company that didn't have an agreement beyond beta was going to be an issue. Maybe they thought they could iron those out before they left the platform or the streaming service. Who knows? So Geforce Now came out of beta at the beginning of February. It allows users to stream select games that they already own and have access to through other digital storefronts such as Steam and the Epic Store. Also, Uplay works on that, and if you have Uplay Plus, that works. Geforce Now offers free 1-hour trial sessions to anyone, as well as a founder's membership that is free for the first 90 days, then $4.99 per month for the next 9 months. Which is a really good deal. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know I absolutely love Geforce Now. But the 90-day free trial had nothing to do with still being in beta. So Nvidia had a huge oversight when it came to Activision. Now, is it the same thing for Bethesda? It sounds like it probably is. Something where they couldn't reach an agreement in time, so they wound up pulling the games. But to me, there again, just like with Activision, I think it's a bad idea. Whether they're wanting to do their own streaming service or cut a deal with someone else, you're still not putting your game out there for as many players as possible. You're still cutting certain avenues to play that game. So I'm not real happy about companies wanting to pull out of services like that, especially if they've been there through an entire beta with Geforce Now, which has actually been for years. Last week, Bloomberg reported that Activision Blizzard had sought a commercial agreement with Nvidia specifically for its game support, which Nvidia declined. In addition, The Verge reported that Geforce Now chief Phil Eisler acknowledged that publishers are taking a while to make up their minds, which somewhat explains the transient nature of Geforce Now's catalog. Games from other publishers like Capcom, Rockstar, and Square Enix left the service before its full launch. So people who weren't part of the beta and maybe didn't pay a lot of attention to Geforce Now before it came out of beta didn't even realize that Capcom, Rockstar, and Square Enix had left because they weren't there when they came out of beta, which is probably what should have happened to Activision and Bethesda. On Thursday, Eisler wrote a recap post calling the 90-day trial period offered to Founders subscribers an important transitional period where gamers, developers, and publishers can try the premium experience with minimal commitment while we continue to refine our offering. As we approach a paid service, some publishers may choose to remove games before the trial period ends, Eisler continued. Ultimately, they maintain control over their content and decide whether the game you purchase includes streaming on Geforce Now. Meanwhile, others will bring games back as they continue to realize Geforce Now's value. Stay tuned for more on that, which I think that's probably true. Maybe not all games or all publishers, but I think some games are liable to come back. You just want as many players on your game as possible at the end of the day. And when you buy a game and you can access it on Steam or Uplay or Epic or whatever the case may be, you should be be able to be renting that PC from Geforce Now in the cloud to run your launcher and to run your game if you want to. And I think it's a great way for companies to get their game to more people. But that's my opinion. Eisler added that game removals should be few and far between, with new games added to Geforce Now each week. So I do believe that's also a thing too, where we're going to stop seeing this thing where games are falling out. I think all that's going to kind of come to an end. Whatever agreements are there, whatever companies have issue, that's all going to kind of be washed out. And we're going to get to a point where we're just seeing games added on weekly and monthly. Supposedly there's like 1,500 games in the pipeline to get added to Geforce Now. So I think it's still going to stay a strong service, and I think it's going to grow pretty good. Reached by Polygon, an Nvidia rep declined to comment when asked if Nvidia expected Geforce Now to lose access to other publishers' titles. Ubisoft has several games in the streaming services catalog, as do 2K Games, Warner Brothers Games, Sega, and Codemasters. Polygon also reached out to Bethesda representatives for comment, but did not receive a reply. So yeah, hopefully nobody else pulls out at this point. Hopefully everything's kind of been figured out, and whoever wanted to stay already knew, and these are just a couple of issues and bumps along the way of coming out of beta. But we'll see. I mean, you know, another one that I didn't expect with Bethesda pulling out of Geforce Now. So one thing though, on a positive note, and this is why I think you'll start to see some games come back, it says weeks after launch, Nvidia's Geforce Now attracts 1 million streaming gamers. But that number likely includes a lot of free trial. Yeah, of course, you know, you always get a lot of people that are just checking it out. But the fact that you got that much interest in Geforce Now after it's been in beta for so long, and a lot of people are just now kind of learning what it is. And since Geforce Now has been in beta, cloud gaming has kind of become a thing, and more people are starting to understand what streaming, gaming, cloud gaming, and all that really is. So it's getting a lot more attention. And if they can retain a lot of customers and bring on board a lot more people, more publishers are going to want their games available through Geforce Now. So hopefully that will continue to grow and do well. Hopefully we'll get more games like Cyberpunk. That's going to be a launch day game. RTX on. If you're a founder, you'll be able to have ray tracing and bumped up graphics and that kind of stuff. So I think you're going to have more games that start doing that. And I think Geforce Now is going to do just fine, even with all the issues that we're having. So all right, guys, thanks a lot for coming and checking out the video. Please click subscribe if you enjoy the channel. Give a thumbs up if you liked the video, and feel free to leave your comment below. Are you enjoying Geforce Now? Do you have a lot of issues? Are these games that you were playing on Bethesda or Activision or any of that? Are you still enjoying the service? All right, thanks a lot for checking out the video. I'll catch you next time, and have a good one.